Hi, good evening. Hi, it's Cliff here from New Energy Work, and I've got Shakura here helping me with the chat.
Hello, everybody.
So please just go ahead and say hi in the chat. Maybe say where you're from, whereabouts are you? Maybe just tell us how you're feeling with a emoji, whether you're feeling okay. And we've got 400 people registered on this webinar, which is really exciting for us because this is actually the first online course that we've produced since the whole coronavirus thing kicked off and the lockdown started last month. I'm sure you're aware, the team worked really hard. We put in about 500 hours between us with absolutely no guarantee we'd get paid at all because we opened up the entire New Energy Work paid content for free. Tell you more about that later. So this is our very first course and we put it together for you. It's a 4-week course. It's made up of 4 webinars. I'm going to explain all about it as we go through. So yeah, it's great to have so many people on this webinar. It's great to see you all. And I think we should get going. Okay, cool. Fantastic. All over the world. Fantastic. Okay, so Shakura's going to be looking after the chat. She's going to turn her video off, but she'll be there on the chat. So if you've got any issues or any problems with your, or you've got some questions to ask, or she'll field the questions. There'll be plenty of time for questions later on. So let's just start the webinar now. So the theme is creating Shiatsu treatment online. Okay, it's an 8-hour CPDC accredited course, and this live webinar is the first part of that course. Okay, so what we're going to do this evening? Well, we're going to find out a little bit about you on the polls, find out where you're at with your work. I'm going to introduce the course, tell you a little bit about the story behind how we got here. What's new, if you've been watching the webinars that we produced last month, they were very much a very quick response to very acute issues that we had as practitioners worldwide. So now we can just take a little bit of a deep breath. We're starting to work on all kinds of new techniques. We're kind of settling into the groove now, and we'd like to have you with us on this course. Okay, we're going to show you the format, the learning outcomes, and we're going to get straight in, stuck in about 10 minutes. We're going to get stuck in and we start working with the material. Okay, so looking forward to that. Okay, so what we're going to do this webinar is we're going to introduce you to the course. I'll show you our outline. It is evolving week by week though, so it could change as we go along. And we're going to look at the first steps we think you should make when you're a Shiatsu practitioner in lockdown, or even if the lockdown's easing, maybe the second wave is coming, maybe your elderly clients are locked down, they can't come in, vulnerable clients can't come in. We really believe that certainly for the next foreseeable future, in most countries, it's going to be a really useful thing for Shiatsu practitioners to be able to work online. So we're going to look at creating a class, how you can do it, how to contact your clients, how to create a class, and then we're going to look at one of the ways that we are using traditional TCM Shiatsu diagnosis in an online environment. I'm going to show you what we're doing. I'm sure you've got your own ideas, and that's another thing about this course. Hopefully we're going to get a lot of input from you as we go along. Okay, so first of all, let's just figure out what, just to get a feel of how much of the previous work you've done with us. I'd like to find out how many of the last month's webinars did you attend? Because we actually did, quite a lot of webinars. Well, actually we did 24 webinars in 6 different languages. Can you believe that, last month? And so and then we did a practitioner's series of webinars. That's what we're asking you now. We did a series of practitioner webinars. And I'd just like to find out how many you went to. Is this completely new to you? Did you not go to any of it? Or did you go to 1 or 2 of them, 3 or 4 of them, or all of them? Just so I get an idea, we get an idea of your background. Okay, interesting, very interesting. We've got over a quarter of you missed the first wave of those webinars. So they're available free. There's, I think, 5 practitioner webinars there. They're very useful if you want to get a very quick way of getting into working online. Most of you have been to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and 12% of you have been to all 5. So well done for that. There's lots and lots of new material though. Lots of new material coming up, and we're structuring it in a much more course-like way this time. Okay, so the next thing we want to know is, are you, because I know you're from different parts of the world, and I know some places the lockdown is being removed, it's been eased, all right? So let's find out whether you are working face-to-face yet. Are you working with no restrictions at all? Are you working with restrictions? Not yet, but maybe the lockdown easing is coming soon, or no, you don't even know when it's going to ease, okay? So that gives us a very good idea of what your priorities are as a Shiatsu practitioner. Okay, well, look at that. We've only got 2% of you are working with no restrictions, and I hope it stays that way. But if it doesn't, and if there's a second wave, I believe that we should be prepared to take out at least some of our work online to support our clients. And most of you are working with restrictions, which probably means your vulnerable clients are not available for Shiatsu sessions. They probably don't want to come in. And the rest of us, most of us, in fact, is either coming soon or we don't even know. Like nearly half of us, we don't know. I mean, in the UK, just today, it's supposed to have been eased a little bit. I came into the city centre. It was pretty much a nightmare. There's people walking around all over the place. You can't keep 2 meters distance. And it looks like we're set up. We're going to get a second wave really, really soon with the virus. That's what I see coming. So I think to be prepared, we want to really make sure that we've got this online working down. Okay, right. So let's just give you a brief idea. Those of you who are new to this whole thing, basically what happened, you've probably seen the video that I made, the short video I made. We had 20 years of experience of delivering Shiatsu training online. When we went into this virus, we were working on a paid content basis. We had professional members who were paying a subscription, or we had people buying courses. Well, we took a big, deep breath. We put all the material out, all our paid content, which has taken us decades to build up, and we gave it free to the World Shiatsu community, free access. And we just prayed that we'd get enough donations. Well, luckily, last month, we put out hundreds of hours. The team put in something like 500 hours of work with no guarantee of any pay. And thank goodness you supported us and we managed to survive. We just made it. We paid all our expenses and we managed to pay ourselves just over the minimum wage, which we were very, very happy with. Okay. During that webinar series, we put out all these webinars. We helped hundreds, if not thousands, of practitioners worldwide gear up to working online. And we're developing techniques all the time. And even today, I was working with some new techniques, which I'd like to share with you later in the webinar, techniques for stimulating the meridians, tonifying the meridians with self-shiatsu techniques, okay? So I'd like to invite you to come with us on this journey for the next 4 weeks. We need your experience as much as you need us. It's a community. We're edging up towards 2,000 free members now. So we're by far the biggest Shiatsu learning community worldwide, and we're really pleased that you're with us, okay? Yeah, we're hoping that you're going to help us develop these strategies. Okay, so what's new? We're going to look at how you're going to book clients. That came up a lot in the webinars. I can't book clients in, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do this, okay? We want to show you how you can plan and deliver a class for clients, one of our very big successes in supporting our clients here in Norwich, okay? We're going to show you how you can use exercise tools. And look, we've got these exercise tools, and we're developing a whole system of self-shiatsu based on using these tools and similar tools in a very sophisticated way, not just to press and sore muscles, but to energize the meridians, to tonify and sedate. Okay, we've got in-depth methods where you can do your normal diagnosis and transfer those skills online. We've got all kinds of treatment ideas, and we've got ways of assessing the session as you go along. And of course, there's a forum support on the course, which means if you've got any ideas you want to share, or if you want to network with the other students, then you're going to be right there on the forum. And you'll find that we'll all be there as well for the next 4 weeks, the whole team. Okay, learning outcomes. We want to show you how to create an online session for your clients to continue their care if they can't get in for a session. We're going to explore the delivery of an online class, diagnosis, treatment, and assessment, okay, systematically transferring your skills online. We're going to evaluate these exercise tools, okay, for Shiatsu treatment. We're doing that right now. And also, how are you going to promote these online shiatsu treatments to make sure your clients do book in and you can help them? Okay, so they're the learning outcomes of the course. We've sketched out the course overview, and you can see this on the course. I won't spend a long time looking through it, but we've basically broken it down into 4 weeks. We're going to go through each of them. Okay. Right, so the course structure, you might want to know, how is it going to work? Well, this is how it's going to work. There's going to be 4 of these live 1-hour webinars. Okay, this is the first one. So it's the introductory one, and we're going to get into it very soon. We've also put extra resources online and waiting for you as a free member or as a professional student member that who are continuing to support us financially. We've already loaded up some fascinating stuff for you, including a live recording of one of my sessions, online sessions with one of my clients, who actually featured in an OTS, an Observed Treatment Seminar. So you can see me working on him face-to-face in another module of the free membership. So we've got that. We've got downloads of the forms we use. We've got links, very interesting stuff that you can build up your knowledge around the live webinars. Okay, and then we're going to have a quiz. We're still working on that. That will be coming up in the next few days. A quiz just to test your knowledge so that we can graduate at the end and give you a certificate with those CPD hours. Okay, and you will end up with 8 hours of CPDC credits, which are basically valid in most countries. And if they're not in your country, we give you some guidance to help make sure that they are recognized. Okay, so that's the structure. If you miss any of the live webinars, you may be watching this recording, you maybe missed tonight's live webinar, I'm talking to you now, then don't worry about that, because obviously this is going to be recorded and we're going to put this in the course. So the course can be taken asynchronously as well if you miss the live events. Okay, so now we need to know, are you doing it already? Are we preaching to the converted? Okay, so what I want to know is how many of you are doing it already? Are you already supporting your clients online with online treatments? Are you treating them online already? So let's see. Hopefully, many of you that have been on the webinars last month will be got enough skills to be able to do that. But let's see what's actually happening. Okay, we've got a 60-40 split. 60% of you are still not treating your clients online. Okay, in the next 4 weeks, we're going to change all of that. We're going to change that for you, and your clients are going to be getting support. Okay, those of you who are doing it, those 40% of you who are doing it, how are you doing it? Let's find out. Are you doing an online class, self-shiatsu or partner shiatsu, distance healing, 2 of the above, or all of them? Okay, just read the whole list first before you vote. Whoa, okay, look, this is so interesting. So distance healing is one of the most popular things. Very, very interesting. Okay, so only a few of you doing an online class, and we're going to focus on that this evening because we really believe that's a great way to start the ball rolling if you haven't already done so. Okay, this course is not about distance healing. We are going to be developing another course, which is going to be a very high level energy work course on distance healing for shiatsu practitioners. We're not calling it distance shiatsu healing anymore because it upset too many people. So we're going to call it distance healing for shiatsu practitioners. And we're developing that course. That's going to come very close after this one. Okay, so many of you are already doing that. If you really want to get into that, have a look at the last month's webinars. Cool. Okay, great. Okay, so that's the introduction. That's taken just under 15 minutes. And now we're going to go straight into the material, which we're going to cover for this webinar. Okay, so the question is, the first thing you need to do, if you haven't done it already, 60% of you are not supporting clients at the moment online. The first thing, I know it sounds obvious, but you've got to contact your clients. Okay, now obviously you can do that by email. Calling them is a great thing, and Shakura and our team spent many days at the start of lockdown literally phoning up every client, making sure they're okay, seeing if they wanted to book in for our class, seeing if they wanted to book in for a one-to-one session. Okay, so let's just find out how many of you have actually contacted your clients since lockdown. Okay, and the options are yes, all of them, yes, some of them, or no, I haven't contacted them. So let's see. Okay, how many of you contacted your clients since the lockdown started? Okay, Not too bad. That's really good. Okay, that's really good. Okay, so it's only like 17% of you haven't contacted them. Okay, so really preaching to the converted now. I would say you've only contacted some of them. I think maybe I would recommend that you contact all your clients, which brings me on to the next thing, which is straight out of the Successful Practice course. Which is basically, do you use an email management system? This is my next question. We're getting into the heavy duty stuff straight away, no messing about. Okay, so do you use an energy management system, email management system? And that's like MailChimp, in other words, some way of organizing your email so you can do an email to your whole client group. Okay, let's find out how many of you use MailChimp or MadMimi. Whoa, okay, look at that. Okay, over 80% of you haven't got an email management system. Okay, all right, well, I would definitely recommend that you do that. Okay, you can set it up. If you've got a small client group, you'll be able to do it for nothing. Most of them, I think MadMimi's now 2,500 people before they start charging. A really good idea. It doesn't substitute for phoning them up or emailing them personally. If you've got time to do that, that's great. But if you've got hundreds of clients, and we've certainly got like 900 current clients here at the Shiatsu Center, and we've got probably 3,000 to 4,000 clients who are not current. I mean, it's really impractical for us to contact all of them individually, although we did that with our regular clients who were expecting to come in, okay? I would definitely recommend that you get organized, use an EMS. You've got the time now, you're in lockdown, okay? It's not going to cost you anything apart from your time, okay? There's so many advantages. If you want to find out more, check out the Successful Practice course, which of course was done before COVID, but it still applies. A lot of it still applies. An EMS does all kinds of things. It allows you to send personalized emails to your clients. It means that your whole GDPR is covered, which is really important these days if you're in Europe, and even if you're not in Europe. It saves a lot of time once you set it up, and it really doesn't take long to set up now. They've made it really easy. If you like a fun kind of one, MadMimi is good fun. MailChimp is the kind of leading thing. Yeah, it's basically just like a template thing. It'll probably take you maybe an afternoon to get it sorted. Once you've done it and you've imported all your clients list and everything, then you're good to go. Okay, GDPR, that you should have permission for your clients to be emailed. But quite honestly, I would actually phone round and make sure you get their permission, because at the moment it's just so important that we stay in touch with our clients. Really, really important. Okay, so this is our recommendation. Very few of you have created a class, even though we have recommended that in the webinars last month. Okay, and I would recommend doing it for many reasons, okay? It's been one of our biggest successes. We're working in the Shiatsu Center, we're working for donations at the moment as well. So we're doing it not just only for new energy work, we're actually running the whole Shiatsu Center and donations. And that's been one of our most consistent donation streams. It's very, very easy to set up. You could set it up on Zoom. It would cost you nothing to set up, okay? All you need is a webcam. If you can come to this webinar and you can see me talking, you must have the technology to do it. All you need is a laptop, or you could probably even do it on a phone if you were really stretched. It only takes an hour of your time a week. This is what I really like. I get a lot of really good feedback because I'm just here for 1 hour a week. I give the class, I contact. We've got 200 people now on our class list. And you're welcome, by the way, to join us. If you go to shiatsucenter.co.uk and just join us to have a look at some of the past ones. And in fact, we're going to put a link in the course as well, so you can get into it. Okay, it's only an hour of my time. I really enjoy it, actually, a great hour. We use a special system that we've developed to help our clients tune in to their energy system based on the 3 heaters. The reason for that is because the 3 heaters in Chinese medicine generate the Wei Qi, which is the defensive Qi. So we're training our clients to tune into their 3 heaters. We're training them to understand how the immune system works in Chinese medicine. And what it does, what we found it does, which has been absolutely awesome, even for some of the practitioners in our team who are a little bit nervous about doing online shiatsu sessions, they've actually found it really easy. because what's happened is the clients have come into those sessions after they've been in the class, used to tuning into their heaters, used to evaluating their own energy field, used to working with their own energy with various techniques that we do in the class, like go-in and stuff like that, and stretches, and meridian stretches, and self-shiatsu. We do a whole combination of things. So they're already in that zone, and it means that the one-to-one sessions are so much smoother, okay? Really easy to do. You could do it, like I say, well, I think I've got the next slide. Let's have a look. Creating a class. Yeah, delivery. How are you going to deliver it? Well, Zoom is the popular thing. I mean, some of the polls we did with the teachers webinars last month had like 90% of them using Zoom. It's very easy to use, as long as you don't mess it up like I did a few times by keeping people in the waiting room. Just watch for that. It's fairly easy to use. It's got a nice feel to it because everyone can see each other. You don't have to though, so if clients want to be confidential, they can turn off their webcam or put a little picture of themselves on it. It's free now. Certainly all you'll need to run a class is free, so there's no cost problem there. The other thing is you can see your clients with a video, and you can see, and using Zoom myself for teaching, you can get a really good idea of whether people are kind of like, you get some people like this, you get some people like this, and some people like this. Okay, so you can see a lot of what, just through visual diagnosis, whether they look different, whether they look okay. Okay, so you can see a lot, and you can start looking after your clients using visual diagnosis straight away, okay, with minimal setup. So I really would consider that. Even if you start off with just 4 or 5 clients, you're going to be able to get them working with their energy just with an hour of your time. And the chances of them booking in for an online session after the class are extremely high. Okay, in fact, we kind of gone the other way here. We're actually restricting the appointments because we would just get overwhelmed with people wanting one-to-ones. We're having to just target mainly the clients that are mainly in the most need, the most vulnerable clients. Okay, so really recommend that. Okay, so just check out and see whether you're using Zoom. Let's just have a look. Okay, I'm gonna ask you, are you using Zoom already? Okay, and the answers are yes or no. And I don't mean just using it as a punter, as a person on the other end. I mean, have you got a Zoom account? That's what I mean. Have you got your own Zoom account so you can set up your own Zoom meetings? Okay, how many of you got your own Zoom account? Now look at that. I bet you that would have been, there would be 5 weeks ago, you never would have seen that. Look, we got 68% of you, and I guess quite a lot of you are teachers, so you've probably got it sorted out. Okay, but there's still 34% of you that haven't got a Zoom account. Well, it's very, very easy. A few clicks, you'll have your own Zoom account. If you want to go pro and spend as much as £15 a month, you can do that. Otherwise, they've upgraded all the free stuff now so that it's pretty much all you need. Okay, right, very good. Okay, so I wonder, shall we see if there are any questions? Shakur, are there any questions? Because before we go on to creating a one-to-one session, I can see the chat is
Zoom, just, how is it free if it's more than 3 people or more than 4, it does cost £11 or £15, I think it is, a month if you want to have sort of.
Yeah, I think the restrictions are quite high. I think you can have a lot of people, and I think it's 100 people, isn't it, before they charge you?
It's quite flexible.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's the free plan is really awesome, and they took the 40-minute restriction off it as well.
If you upgrade it, yeah. So, I mean, if you
upgrade exactly, yeah. Have you got any other
nope,
any other questions?
No.
No? Okay, good. Okay, shall we continue? All right, let's find out how you're doing. How are you doing? And let's have let's have a few thumbs up. I'm feeling pretty good so far, so I'm putting a thumbs up. Okay, so just let me know if you're feeling okay. Ready to go on to the next bit, or do you want to break? Do you want to sort of keep going? Let's see. Okay, everyone is cool. Great. Okay, right. Great. Okay, we've got 168 people turned up out of 200, 400, I mean. So that's like nearly 50%. That's pretty high. Everyone else will be watching it on the replay. So hello to those of you watching it on the replay. Okay, so now creating a one-to-one session. Well, when we were doing the webinars last month, we had a lot of people in the chat saying, do people really want to book on one of those? How do you persuade them to do that? Okay, well, I can assure you from practical experience, and I've done a lot of these now, and as a team, we've done tons of these, lots and lots of these sessions. They really do work, okay? And in fact, last week, I had a bit of a shock because what happened was I had 3 clients in a row who were repeating 1 week later from one of their online sessions with me, and 3 of them had better results, way better results than I would have expected if I'd done a face-to-face shiatsu here on the futon. And that made me really start to think. I thought, whoa, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing, okay? And I've got a list of 5 things, 5 reasons why I think that those sessions were more effective than if I treated them in here. Okay, but I want to see what you think. Can you think of any reason why doing a self-shiatsu supervision, in other words, basically you're taking through people, tuning in, doing the exercises, doing self-shiatsu, assessing what's happening, why, yeah, okay, Laura says they're more in touch with their own energy. Yeah, okay, anyone else got any other ideas? Yeah, there's a direct engagement with their own energy, yep. They're creating their own healing journey, exactly, yeah. And they're more personally involved, yeah. They are more engaged, yeah, and they can practice more. That's it, they're engaging, it's more empowering, yeah, they can relax more at home. That's probably true, I didn't have that, but that's true. No travel, yeah. They're involved personally, they take responsibility, yeah, exactly. Higher attention, they're more engaged, yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's my list of 5 things. I think you've got them all actually, but look. Yeah, self-awareness, learning themselves. Okay, this is my my ideas, okay? Right, first of all, the client is more aware of the process. They're aware of the process the whole way through. So as we're doing the session, we're always going back and checking, did you feel a difference? Okay, I did one this afternoon. I can describe it to you later on. But I checked in, and when we'd done a technique on the meridians, I checked in and said, hey, can you feel a difference, like on the hara or wherever it was? And they go, yeah, I can feel it, right? So they're really aware of the processes. The other thing that's very exciting for the client is that, and a lot of people mention that, okay, it's to do with empowerment. They did it themselves. Okay, I was facilitating it, but they actually did that. And to be honest, that's pretty amazing. I mean, I had a new client 2 weeks ago who had 2 months of palpitations, really serious palpitations. And she had 1 session with me, and I'd never worked with her before. She was a new client, and I didn't have a video link. I just did it all with audio. I had my phone on loudspeaker. I laid down on this futon, and I worked through the whole session with her, getting her to describe to me how she felt in the different heaters. And then I got her to work the heart protector channel very, very carefully using introception. So I got her internally tuning in. She's not a shiatsu practitioner. She's just a client, okay? Just a regular client without any particular knowledge. After an hour of working with her, she could feel the actions of Subos on her heart protector meridian. And the other thing that what happened, which is number 4, okay, well, okay, yeah, number 3, what happens is they directly assess the benefits, which means they're motivated to do the exercises. They can feel it in the session. They can feel individual points. If you direct them correctly, they will feel the actions of individual points, which is very, very exciting, okay? And the thing that really does it is they really do repeat the exercises, okay? This client did those exercises every single day, at least once every single day for a week. And by the time she came back for a second appointment with me online, she had no symptoms. You know, now, if I'd given someone with that severity of treatment, I would be very, very pleased to get that level of engagement and that level. Okay. I had another client who I can name because he's allowed us to use his session. You'll remember him if you've been with New Energy Work for a while. You'll remember one of the early OTSs, Observed Treatment Sessions, which is available on the free membership. You remember Chris? He was a really good client of mine, and he had a terrible car accident. He was in a lot of pain. He was a great client because he allowed us to see me working. I did a whole session on him. It's there available if you want to see it. Anyway, he was very sweet, and he allowed me to video one of my online sessions with him. That guy was a really difficult client in terms of getting pain movement. I did an hour with him. 1 week later, he was 90% pain-free. Again, I would be surprised if I'd got that much change on a face-to-face session. Okay, so it really does work. Okay, and especially if you use Zoom, which I'm starting to use increasingly now. I use Zoom. It's so unbelievably cool, because what happens is you can record that session video, and the video quality is very good quality if you record it, particularly on your own computer, and you can send that video recording to the client, and they record audio as well. So you've got an audio recording they can listen to, and they can see the session. Okay, now how good is that? I mean, how amazing is that? For someone with chronic pain or chronic issues, to have that to do every single day is an amazing thing. And it's something I could never offer before. I used to send them recordings for exercises. Used to draw exercises, but that level of recording and reinforcement session is in a completely different level. We're discovering with this, which makes it very, very effective. Okay. In fact, I kind of think that by the time lockdown ends, I'm not going to have any clients, because they're all going to be able to sort themselves, a bit like I can do my own haircut. So poor old Steve down the road here I used to go in for a haircut once a week before lockdown. I'm afraid now, even though my wife disagrees with me, my wife and daughter started cutting it, but I've been training myself to do it myself. It's quite difficult with the razor around here, but I'm kind of trying to get it level. And certainly after a few months, I think, yeah, I'll be able to do my haircut on my own. And it's a bit like my clients with the Shiatsu, yeah. Chris worked on it he worked on it every day. He was like practicing. He really loved doing it, Loretta. Yeah. And also, of course, people are actually they've got the time to do it as well, because they're not working and they're not so stressed out with work and stuff like that. So in some ways, it's an ideal opportunity to help people with their chronic conditions. So creating a one-to-one session is really, really good idea. Okay. So the issues, you're going to have a platform. What sort of platform you're going to use? I mean, a lot of them I do just with the phone, just with audio. Some clients like that. There's more privacy. A lot of them I do with FaceTime or with WhatsApp video. But I'm actually moving more towards Zoom now, just because it's professional. And also the other thing I like about Zoom is it integrates with our online booking system, because we use Acuity. We did webinars on that way back in the day, I think a few months ago. So we've got a very cool online booking system that we use that integrates, and they're smart because they integrated right in this very early on with lockdown with Zoom. So you're totally sorted. The client gets a reminder, gets the link to Zoom. It's very professional, very cool. You don't have a problem of going. Sometimes I've had problems where I ring them up and I can't get a good signal. It's like, oh, So trying having it all organized beforehand is really good. Okay, so you need a platform. Decide what you're going to do, what fits your style. And then you've got to go sort out the diagnosis, and we're going to do a whole session on that in this session. Okay, so hang on in there for the diagnosis section. Structuring it, we use forms. We use actual official forms that we've developed to structure it, and they're all in the course. They're all in module 1 of the course, sitting there waiting for you after this webinar to log in and check them out. They're downloadable as doc files and as PDFs. Okay. So then we've got the treatment mode, the treatment phase, and we're developing all kinds of stuff using these kind of exercise tools. And of course, you can use everything all the Qigong, all the yoga, all the Doin, all the self-Shiatsu stuff that you know about. Okay, and then assessment's very important at the end to get the client to realize there's some change, and recommendations also make sure you give them at the end. Okay, so let's have a little look at the next slide. Okay, thinking about the platform, it is completely possible to do a one-to-one session just with a phone call. or with any video app that you like FaceTime, Skype, WhatsApp, whatever. But I would recommend Zoom because the recording is just taking it to that another level. And if you're going to start using Zoom, you're going to get really used to just setting up meetings and getting the clients in. It's also very platform friendly. So you're not going to worry about they can't FaceTime because they haven't got an Apple phone or whatever, or they haven't got WhatsApp on their desktop or whatever. I like Zoom because it's very, very not dependent on platform. Okay, good. Any questions before we go on to the next stage of the webinar, which is I want to get deeper into. Okay, I see Fanny's on the webinar. Hello, Fanny. She's one of our French volunteer translators, and there's going to be more on that later. Okay, glad she could turn up, Fanny. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we had webinars in 6 different languages last month, and we had some fantastic help from members who helped us out with translating. It was really quite an amazing experience, which we're going to develop because we would like to have all the courses, especially all the courses that we're developing now. We're designing them so that they can be translated easily by volunteer translating teams, and more about that later. Okay. So what Bo-Shin is visual diagnosis. That's in Chinese. It's not French. Yeah. Okay. So there's 4 different types of diagnosis. Traditional diagnosis. Okay. Diagnosis methods. There's Bo-Shin, which is visual diagnosis. Okay, did you guess the element? Lung, metal element, okay, liver, okay, heart. Okay, there's Bo-Shin. There's questioning, and we love clean questions because we know Nick Pole, and clean questions are the super cool way of doing questioning. More on that later. Bunshin is listening. Do you know what a groaning voice is? Anyone know what groaning voice means? Okay, let's see it in the chat. What is a groaning voice? If someone has a monotone voice and they feel very tired. Yeah, you see? Good. You know, water, you see? You know that stuff. All right, so you can do that. You all know that, okay? You know the sing-song voice like this, sing-song voice. I really want to look after you, Cliff. You're looking a bit tired. You need to look after yourself a bit. Yeah, that's it. That's the earth. And then the people that laugh all the time, even though they're upset. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? Oh, it's absolutely terrible. The lockdown's absolutely terrible. Yeah, fire. And what about the weeping ones? Oh, I don't know. I'm just weeping. Weeping. Yeah. Metal, you see, you know all this stuff, okay? Metal is weeping is the metal sound. Okay, did I leave anything out? Oh, yeah. Shouting. It's about time the country got itself together and organised how we're going to get out of this lockdown. Yeah, there we go. You see, you know all this stuff, right? So you know how to do that. That's Bunshin, listening. So we've only left the only thing that's a little bit tricky, and we've already solved it, so you can relax immediately, okay, is the Setsu-Shin, because obviously with Shiatsu face-to-face sessions, we rely quite a bit on touching the body, or do we? Those of you who are just doing distant Shiatsu, you know that we don't. It's all pure energy work, and you can access it in the quantum field. Don't tell anyone yet, okay? But anyway, yeah, we like to think that touching is important, which it kind of is for the whole Shiatsu brand. So we need to replace that with something. And we've been working, and in fact, I had a very, very good experience this afternoon because I tried it out. I tried out what we're going to do, and I'm going to get you to do it, okay? What we've got is we've got a system, right, which is based on the triple burner. That's the Chinese characters for triple burner, by the way. And what it is it's a guided Setsu-Shin method, okay? Basically, it's a simplified method. And what we do is we get people to tune in to the 3 burners to start with. And that's very easy for them because they've all been on our class. So we do that every single class. We do the 3 burner tuning in thing. So it's very easy. And then what we've done is we've developed a way to differentiate those 3 burners into each burner into 2 simple groups, which allow you to get a full horror diagnosis from your client. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to do it for real. okay? And you can do it sitting up if you don't want to lie down, okay? But I'm going to do it lying down just like I do with a client, and I'll show you the kind of thing I was doing this afternoon with a client. It's going to take about 5 minutes to take you through this, 5-10 minutes to take you through it, okay? And we're going to start off by just tuning into the 3 burners like this, okay? So I'll just show you what I do. I take my webcam, I bring it up like this, I angle it down so that they can see me, right? Like this, okay? And then I guide them through through it like this. You can see I've done it a few times now. Okay, all right. And so if you can lie down, why don't you just take a break and lie down, okay? That's one of the really great things about doing these sessions, by the way, is you get to lie down and do self-shiatsu for an hour. I did 3 hours this afternoon. By the end of it, you feel amazing. It's really good. Okay, so look. First thing we're going to do is we're going to tune into the 3 heaters. So you need to do a piece of paper divided into 3 parts like that, okay? Yeah, just 3 parts like that, and then we'll divide it into 2, okay? So if you just lie down first of all, sometimes I get the clients to tune in but with their hands like this, because then you get more of a Setsu-Shin type of idea, okay? So what we do is first of all tune into the lower burner, placing our hands below the navel and just above the pubic bone, okay? And then we're just going to relax. We're going to tune in to the lower burner, and it's obviously the whole space between the lower back and the lower part of the hara below the navel down into the pelvic floor, okay? We're just going to tune in to see what that's like. Okay, so if you can think of any words or any images that explain or can describe what it's like, then you take your paper like this, okay, and you can draw, okay, and just draw in the middle of the page, because we're going to differentiate that in a minute. So just draw it in the middle and leave space either side, okay? So I'm just going to draw it kind of calm, very calm, quite strong. I'll put calm and strong. Okay, yeah, so just in the middle of the paper like that. So you've got, in fact, what I'll do is I'll take the cam, I'll take the option off, stop sharing, and then you'll get a bigger picture. There you go. Oh, that's more like it. Okay, look, there you go. So I've got nice, calm, strong feeling there in the middle burner, in the lower burner, okay? So then we're going to go up to the middle burner. So this is underneath the ribs, from the navel, right through into the lower thoracic, but certainly below the diaphragm. So it kind of extends around in the middle of the body. Okay. We're going to place our hands there, and we're going to assess the feeling here compared to the lower burner. And that helps a lot. If you ask people how it compares, they give an idea, oh, it's much tighter, or it's much more active, or it's quieter, or whatever, okay? So I'm going to tune in here, relax. Okay, so what is it like? Okay, think of an image or some words. All right, so mine's a little bit more active. It's not too bad, but it's a bit more active and a bit tight. Okay, that's my middle burner. Right. Okay, and now we're going to go up to the upper burner. So we go into the upper burner. Tuning into the whole area of the heart and the lungs, the whole upper burner here. What is it like? Okay, well, it's a little bit hot actually, which is not a good thing. Okay, it's a little bit hot and a little bit overactive, I would say. I wonder why. Okay, so, okay, and we do exactly the same thing in our classes, okay? So the clients are very used to doing this, right? Now, so did everyone get that? Did all the burners feel the same for you? Or if you had to work on one burner, which one would it be? Upper, middle, or lower? Do you want to put it in the chat? I think for me, it would be the upper, but what about you? Just give us some idea of what you'd like to work on. Lower, lower, upper, lower, upper. Okay, any reason why? Do you want to describe what it's like? And then we can get an idea. When we do the classes, we use polls. We find out what the dominant thing. Okay, middle's twisted. Right. Okay. Yeah. You see? Stodgy. Okay. So now that's quite a good way to start, but it's not really detailed enough to do a session. And that's when what we've done is we've done a very simple modification for that, which worked really well. And I'll tell you, I was trying it this afternoon. And what we do is we explain about the burners to our clients and how the upper burner is related to the lungs and the heart, the middle burner, the liver and stomach, and the lower burner, the kidney and the large intestine, bladder and large intestine. By the way, these graphics that we use in our classes are available for you as a PDF download when you check into module 1 of the course, okay? Right, so this is what we do, okay? Or this is certainly what I've been doing today and this last week, which I found very effective, okay? What I do is I take people into each of the burners and I get them to differentiate them as follows, okay? The lower burner into the bladder and the large intestine, the liver into the stomach, the middle burner into the stomach and the liver, and the upper burner into the heart and the lungs. Okay, so do you want to try and do it? Okay, I'll just take this off and I'll take you through it and we'll go back and have a look in a minute. All right, so I'll just take you through it so you can feel what it's like. Okay, so look, tune into your lower burner again. Okay, tune into your lower burner. Okay, now get a sense of the lower burner and I want you to feel by your hips here where the colon is, the large intestine. Okay, and in the middle we have CV6 and CV4 and we also have the bladder. So this middle area is more related to the bladder and kidney and these side areas are more related to the large intestine. Okay, so what I want you to do now is tune into the large intestine. Okay. And then tune into the central area, the lower hara, which is represented by the kidney and bladder. You can get your clients to tune into this whole area, including the organ of the bladder and also the lower dantian, and see what they're like. Okay, well, for me, they're pretty similar. I would say the large intestine is a little bit weaker. So I'll put large intestine a little bit weaker on this side, and bladder and kidney was okay. Okay, calm and strong. Okay, so I've already got some information there about the lower burner, differentiating it. The client I worked with this afternoon just said, oh, it all feels kind of calm. It feels fine. Okay, no problem. All right, so that's cool. Lower burner, no problem. All right, so now we go up to the middle burner. Okay, now a real simple way to differentiate the middle burner is you really want to know, is it more the liver or more the stomach? Okay, and that's super easy for people to feel because what they can do is they can go like this and you can say, okay, you can feel the middle burner and mine is kind of like, well, it's a little bit tight and a little bit active. Okay, and I did this with my client this afternoon. I said, okay, so let's just test the right side and then the left side. And I want you to do the same. I just want you to palpate around. You're palpating basically the stomach diagnostic area and the liver gallbladder area. Okay, but for your clients, it's really simple. It's just left and right. Do they feel the same? Okay, and now that I'm tuning into the difference between the two, I don't know about you, but they do not feel the same. This right side, the liver side, is definitely tighter. Okay, and the stomach side feels a bit weaker. All right, but the overall feeling is it's a bit tight compared to the other burners. So that's really good information. Okay, so now all we need to do now is go into the upper burner. Ready? Okay, so let's just go up into the upper burner. Okay, so I felt a bit of heat there. So now I'm going to get, this is another thing that clients don't find any problem with tuning into. I get them to put their hand slightly over the left chest there and tune into the heart area with the hand. Okay, and get a sense of what the heart's like. Okay, and then get a sense of what the lungs are like by putting your hands here on the ribs. And then I say, does it feel the same? Okay, and it really doesn't for me. The heart feels pretty good. It feels quite calm, but the lungs feel hot. So this hot, overactive feeling is definitely more the lungs, and the heart feels calmer. Okay, and I do this with a client this afternoon, and it worked a treat. Really, really good. So by the time I did that, I got a really good Setsu-Shin, which combined with all the listening diagnosis and the visual diagnosis and all of the rest of it. Okay, and I tell you what happened. We went through exactly the exercise that I've just done with you, and he felt the lower burner was okay. He checked the bladder against the large intestine. Everything was cool. Middle burner felt a bit churned up. This is the interesting thing. The stomach was much more churny than the liver. We went into the upper burner. The heart was fine. The lungs felt like they weren't breathing properly. They felt constricted. He wasn't aware of that at all so much when we did the 3 burners. He could feel a bit of constriction here, but when we tuned into the lungs, it was very clear for him. Okay. And so the interesting thing was that his main symptom was he was suffering from insomnia, waking up at 3 to 5 a.m. Okay. So I thought, it's going to be heart blood deficiency. You know, my TCM hat on there, you know what I mean? Heart blood, got to be, right? But you know what it's like when you do a face-to-face session where you have an idea, you do the HARA and you think, no, it's definitely not that. Exactly the same thing happened with this client. I actually, from his own Setsu-Shin, I came up with a diagnosis of stomach jitsu, lung kyo. Now that's not really a typical insomnia diagnosis, but it makes sense because the lungs are associated with the 3 to 5 time in the morning. And they were obviously a clear diagnosis for him. So it's got to be the right one. Okay. So I did a treatment with him, very, very excited because we used, first time I'd really tried out these little things I've got, which are exercise balls. He happened to have a couple of exercise balls that he could use, and I could try out some really exciting new techniques that we've been developing, which is how to tonify meridians using exercise balls, not just working on tight muscles. Did the session, sedated the stomach channel, okay, with him, self-shiatsu, did some do-in, went back, stomach felt more relaxed, okay, went up into the, you had some lower back pain. We did some work on the bladder meridians. We used these on bladder 23 by integrating them with the channels. I'll show you next week how we did that. It was really, really effective. Released his lower back. We went up, we did some stuff on the lung channel, self-shiatsu with the lung channel, and then we did this really cool thing, working the lung U points, integrating them by tonifying them into the lung channel. At the end, when he reassessed, it was completely different. The lower back was released. He could breathe fully. His stomach had completely calmed down. And again, those are kind of results that I would be delighted to get if I was doing a face-to-face session. It was a very, very exciting session for me. Yep, and as Natalia says, Kat Westwood does that. We're going to do that. Talk about how to make them out of tennis balls and stuff next time. Okay, so this is all these slides are going to be available. Obviously, I'll put them in the online course so you can check in with them if you want to. But just to remind you, what we've done is we've just simply divided it up. So basically, you've got metal, fire, wood, earth, water, and large intestine at the bottom, a bit more metal at the bottom. So you can do basically a 5-element Kyojitsu diagnosis with your clients. Very easy for them to tune in, very, very effective. Okay, So there we go. Time has sped past. Okay, really enjoyed being with you. Been a great group. The chat's been insane. Thank you for Shakura and everyone else who's been totally totally helpful in the chat. As well, it's like another whole thing. It's really good. So I wanted
with your what you were doing now with the 3 burners. Pascal was just saying, do you go through the 3 burners and then go through them again with the details, or do you do each one and plus details as you go?
What I tended to do was I did the 3 burners first. Yeah. Then I went through them again and differentiated them, just exactly like I did with you, exactly like that. And then when we did the session, I referred the meridian work back to the actual meridian area. So we sedated the stomach. I went back and went, oh yeah, because it's instant gratification. You know, you work the meridian, it's like, oh my God, it's changed, you know. And then we did the lower back, working bladder and kidney. Yeah, that's good. But the most dramatic thing was the lungs, because he felt constricted in the lungs. He couldn't breathe properly. We did tonifying the lung channel. We used this one on the back, but we used it in a particular way using intraception, which activated the channels. I'm very excited about that. It's something I've been planning and I've been practicing at home, and I just tried it with the client for the first time this afternoon. And I'm going to share that with you next week, because one of my concerns about using stuff like this is these tend to sedate. If you lean on these, if you ever use these are really sedating, and they're used symptomatically to release knotted muscles. But I was using them with this client in a completely different way, which was to activate the channel and to tonify the meridian, and it worked really, really well. So we're going to do that practically next week.
How long does the session usually last?
I usually book an hour.
And can it be done when the patient's standing, the client's standing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Well, you have a look at Chris's session. Log on to the course, which I'll explain how to do that now. The course is available in the free membership. It's available in all the memberships. I've published it this afternoon. On there, you'll see an entire session of me doing a session with Chris. And a lot of it's standing. It's qigong, stuff like that we do in the class, in the actual evening class.
And also, Pascal was saying, how long should it take to do that diagnosis with the 3 burners? Because if you do it twice a session, it would take quite a long time.
Didn't take too long. It took, it's part of the main part of the diagnosis. I suppose it took 5 minutes, a bit like we just did it now, 5 to 10 minutes, because the thing is, you don't need to do it all laboriously at the end. You just want to focus in on the change, has that changed? And then at the end, I got him to lie down and just scan his whole body. How did he feel? He just generally felt.
Can we have a better look at those, what are they called?
These exercise balls.
Yeah, we want to have a better look, and we want to know what they're called.
Okay, yeah, I'll put a link in. Okay, they're called duo balls. There are a lot in the market. I really like these. This is a 12 centimeter ones, and these are the 8 centimeter ones. They're different ones. And they're basically made of slightly giving material. They're basically a bit like Mar rollers, but we'll talk all about that next week. But have a look and see what's available. These are called duo balls. And I've found them very, very effective. And I'm working with them I'm trying to produce an entire system of tonification sedation using them. It's really quite a lot of fun.
Yes, we're getting the clients to buy them, aren't we, to have them at home?
Yeah, that's it. If they can, but if they don't want to, they can use tennis balls. Some of them got other different types of massage balls, which is what my client had. He had a sort of spiky one, so that was fine. Okay, so I've introduced you to the course. Hope you've got the idea of the format. You don't have to be at the live sessions. Of course, they're a lot of fun, and we'd love to see you. But if you missed this and you're watching a recording, that's cool. You'll be able to get all the course content, even if you can't make it. Okay, we've done first steps using a email management system. Let's get pro here, people. Let's use the time, get more professional. Also, I really encourage you to set up a class, and that's Setsu-Shin sorted, isn't it? Setsu-Shin was the only one of the shins that we can't do. Okay, you all proved to me that you can tell the groaning voice. Okay, you can see people's postures. Okay, you can see how they're moving about. You can ask them questions. The only thing really that we can't do easily online is Setsu-Shin. And that's what people always say, oh, but you can't feel them. Yeah, but come on. You get them to sort it out. And as I've seen quite often, if you get them to do it, you end up with better results than if you'd done it yourself. Okay. So we really hope to see you on the online course. It's all free. As I said, we're working for donations only. You're going to get 8 hours of CPDC credits when you finish it. You just have some fun with us for a few weeks. Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're all going to be on the forum, mucking in and coming up with all kinds of new ideas. Let's see where we are in 4 weeks' time, the way things are changing so fast. Okay, you can just go straight in, sign in with your membership, and I've loaded it into the free area, so you don't really need a link. But if you haven't joined the free membership yet, you just go to the homepage and just join. It's free. Okay. I'm waiting for your module 1. There'll be a replay of this webinar as soon as I processed it. Give me a chance. Slides from the client support class. I promised those. A video of this online session with Chris. Forms in PDF and doc format. And there's a quiz that I'm working on, or we're going to work on this week. And there's a forum. So that's already waiting for you there. Okay. And this is what it looks like when you go there. You'll see it when you get there. Okay. And that's the course enrollment link, but you don't even need that really. Okay. So as I said, we're working cooperatively for donations only. We're all working for the same hourly rate. There's no hierarchy anymore. We're like a kind of cooperative. We've got no guaranteed income, none at all. And we've got lots of expenditures. It costs thousands of euros to have all this amazing platforms and everything here. Okay. And we just survived last month. Okay. So if you want us to be here next month, why don't you donate some money? Okay. And roughly what we reckon is 10 euros allows us to provide you with a webinar. Around 50 euros allows us to deliver an entire 8-hour course to you. And what several people have already done, which I find so heartwarming. Thank you so much to those people. Those of you who are not in a really terrible financial situation, and I know a lot of you are, and if you haven't got any money, that's absolutely fine. We are for you. Just take the course, get your practice online and start earning some money again, and then you can always donate later on. But we have had a lot of people very generously already. We've had people already donating a free place to someone. So they paid us 100 euros, that's 50 euros for their place and 50 euros to donate to someone else. So thank you. And if you have got that ability to do, that's great. But please pay what you can. We know that a lot of you are under financial stress, as in fact we are. So, okay, so thank you. Webinar 2 is the same time next week. You're already enrolled. We hope to see you there. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to put a thumbs up. In fact, I'm going to give you a clap because it's been a lot of fun. And I'll see you on the course. Okay, and thank you to Shakura. Do you want to put your webcam on and just wave goodbye, Shakura? Or is you? Yes, she's there. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, yeah, very, very active chat. Thank you for keeping up with
you.
Yeah, great. Okay, see you on the course forum. Okay. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to end the session.
Bye, Benny.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Shakura. Bye.